Hey guys, welcome back to the Spicy Book Night podcast. I'm Kenz, and this is not Allison. This is Red, Kayla,
whatever you want to call her.
whatever you want to call her. Okay.
I'm just here.
Whatever you want to call her. And she met me and told me that she was not a reader. And I said, bet. And I said, you just have to try a couple books.
And here I am.
And here she is. So I finally got her. I got her reading a couple contemporary romances. And then I was like, okay, I think you're ready. And she started A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So. My one wish in life is to be able to read this series over again without knowing what happened. And I think that it is one of the coolest things in the world that I get to watch you go through it for the first time.
It's an experience.
I'm going to cry. My God. Okay. So she's finished the first book. So this video is going to be an interview of a first-time ACOTAR reader. So with that, she is going to start A Court of Mist and Fury right after this. I'm going to tell her to, and she has no choice but not to. But no choice but not to.
I'm going to read it.
She's going to read it. She doesn't have a choice in that. So, are you ready to commence our interview?
Commence.
Okay, so let me open up my notes.
She fancy here. Look at that scrap piece of paper.
Don't be cheating. Okay. Question number 1. How do you feel after finishing reading book 1?
I was mad because Kenzie told me I could not read the next one until we had this interview. So I had to sit there with this next book in my home and just not read it.
Because, I gave her every single one of them.
She did. She was like, oh, hey, by the way, here. And I was like, this is a lot of book. But after this one, I feel like I will quickly go through the next ones. But it was really good.
Okay.
So the first 3 that she gave me, 4. What were they?
Oh, the first
series
couple
of
books?
3. And then there was the military romance in the middle.
So she read oh my goodness, I am totally blanking, by Tessa Bailey, the Big Shot series. The first 3 that are out. So it's All Pair Affair. Yeah, All Pair Affair. That's the second one. I forgot what the first one is. I always forget it.
Fangirl Down.
Fangirl Down. There you go. So she read that series, and then I had her read Leave Me Behind.
Leave Me Behind was good. That one was good. But those 3 were short and sweet, read them in a day. This one was much slower. I knew it was a long series. It was going to take a minute. I did not fall in love with the book, and I struggled. I'm going to tell you right now, I struggled keeping my brain in line because I was like, I don't know what some of these words mean. I cannot picture this. I don't know what's going on. But halfway through the book with the summer solstice, that is when I fell in love with the book.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so it took me a little while. I was reading it, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. I kept mixing up some of the characters, didn't know who was doing what at one point. Kind of forgot who had an eyeball that wasn't real. Took a while. But that summer solstice, the whatever party, I was like, wait, this is cute. It was written very, very beautifully. I was like, okay. And then it ripped my world apart afterward. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yes.
So that's where I stand.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to actually move on to this side of the paper and ask these out of order.
Ooh,
The next question I had for you is, what is your favorite part? What was your favorite part of the book?
It had to have been that party.
The summer solstice?
Yes.
Okay.
I think just the way that it was written, it was very easy to picture myself in that. I could feel what she was feeling. I could imagine it so clearly. It was beautiful. It was whimsy. And it was just so sweet. And they had their little sweet moment. Because, compared to the books that I had previously read, everything just happened. Everything was very quick.
Slow burn.
It was like a cute little romance. They're dancing under the will-o'-the-wisps. And it was really sweet. And I was like, aw, it was just very, very nice. And then,
okay,
it just got better.
Okay, now what was your least favorite part of this book?
Ooh.
And it doesn't have to be in you hated it. It was something that was just oh my God, that was dumb. I hated it. Ugh. It doesn't have to be you know what I mean?
Well, at least it's a good thing I didn't feel like anything stood out as like, bad. I think the second trial that Farrah went through it could have been more detailed, more in depth. Something more could have happened. It was very quick. It was only a couple pages.
Okay.
Of course, I'm probably forgetting something major that looking back and be like,
explain the second trial.
So her not being able to read very well, she had to read a passage from the wall and then pull one of 3 levers to save
Lucian.
And with the markings on her hand from
Rhysand.
It just, I don't know. I was kind of like, okay, Rhysand's helping her. I don't know.
Was he helping her, though?
Well, in the moment, I didn't know if it was for money that he bet for her to survive, because I know he cashed out big after the first trial, or if it was something a little more. I wasn't looking too in-depth into anything as I was reading. I was just reading to read.
Okay.
Which I want to touch back on when it comes to that silly little riddle.
Okay.
But him helping her through it, it was very quick, like, oh, yep, okay, she survived.
Okay.
I was like,
Okay, she didn't actually survive. She died.
Well, she did. But she's alive now. Sort of. I guess that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Living forever.
Yep. Okay. Who is your favorite character?
Tamlin.
What? Okay. That's not what I was expecting, but okay.
From what I gathered from the internet, a lot of people don't agree with that either.
Why are you looking at the internet?
I was doing some research that was pertaining to this.
No.
I promise, because she would have my neck if it was for anything else. I don't know. I think it's just the way that he's written.
I get it.
I like it. I don't know.
I get it. Okay, so Tamlin is your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know people. Who my least favorite is, I bet.
I know people that have gotten a Tamlin tattoo just after reading this book.
Whoa. Okay, I don't think I'd go that far.
Yeah.
But I'm also tattoo particular.
But yeah. Okay. Who is your least favorite?
That's a hard question. I feel like I don't have.
Who do you want more from? Who do you think is just kind of a whatever character?
I guess. Well, least favorite character versus who I want to see more from are 2 completely different questions.
Okay, well, give me both.
I don't think I can pick a least favorite, but I want to see more from Tamlin.
Okay.
And from Rhys.
Obviously.
I want.
Right.
And I know that's how it's going to happen. Just want to know what it is. It's killing me. She's killing me. You did this to me.
I'm sorry.
I don't think you are.
Okay. All right. All right. Relationships that are going on. Okay. Not just like romantic relationships, friendships as well. Or non-friendships. How do you feel about them? How do you feel like they have been throughout the book? Do you think that anything is going to change? Like,
for the most part, I feel like the relationships have been pretty straightforward.
Okay.
I know they're going to change because, of course, there's 5 more books to go through or something. So they're going to change. It's going to get interesting. I was really interested in the relationship of Alice and Farrah, just because from the get-go, I could tell that she was going to be an ally. And then as I reread over some of the beginning pages earlier today, just to refresh from what I read 2 days ago, just because I forget things, rereading some of the things that she had shared with Farrah, I was like, oh, she's good. She's a good one. She's a real one for that. So I really like her. I hope to see like her and her nephews more, whether they will be or not, but they were sweet. I liked them.
Okay.
Definitely the tension between Rhys and Tamlin, that's going to get spicy. And I'm ready for it. Like, I want to see them throw down, but both survive.
Okay. How do you feel about the relationship of Farrah and her sisters and her family?
Ooh, so at one point, Farrah talks about grief and how she was like, they did not stop me trying to leave, even though she knew that she was the one providing for her family the food, the wood half the time. And then when they just let her go, Like, that's intense. That's
stings
a hard thing especially for her father to be like, go, get out of here. Now, he did say, like, go and don't come back, probably for the better of her, him being her father, but can never be too sure. And then going back, when I learned about her sister's, like, metal band, the iron, whatever, keeping the glamour away. Wow, like, I don't know, I really like that she put that in there. So of course, now knowing these people are crazy, like, something's happening, and everybody's just la-di-da, unaware. It's like, ooh, I did think she was gonna spend more time with her family, when she, left the castle. What is it called?
You mean when she went back to her village after?
Yes, when she went back. I thought she was gonna spend more time there.
When he released her?
Yes. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. I just thought more could have been developed there, but something tells me that we're gonna see a lot more of
Nesta?
Nessie?
Nesta?
What did I get? Yeah. I needed a little spreadsheet of names.
Her other sister's name is Elaine.
Yeah, that was never gonna come to my brain.
Yep.
Well,
Nesta and Elaine.
they are whoever I call them when I read it. Yeah, Nesta, I feel like she's going to be vital in the future.
Okay.
The other two.
The other one?
Well, and her father is what I meant.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like Feyre?
Do I like her? I don't think I have a reason not to like her. I definitely understand some of the things that she, like putting up a wall in front of these high fae, I'd be a little skeptical. It's like, wow, there's all this food to eat, all these things to do. It's too beautiful. I feel like she has every right to be skeptical. I think her willingness to disobey constantly. For the most part, she hasn't really gotten into all that much trouble because someone has always been to swoop in and save the day.
You don't think she's gotten into trouble?
She totally has, but nothing has really, really, really harmed her permanently.
Yeah, she just died.
Okay, I wasn't talking about the very last few
She's
pages.
just dead.
She ain't dead, though. Like, anytime she has taken a risk, she has been rewarded.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
Do you disagree with that?
No, I just want to know how you felt about her. There's a lot of people that are like, she's an uneducated, can't read, girl with no skills. And she was able to defeat all the trials. Seems a little weird.
The first trial was solely based on, skill, wit, hunting, which literally
that was her
what
thing.
She did. And I was like, okay, like that makes sense. Second one,
she got a little help.
And then the third one was so creative. I liked it. And that's partially why I went back to reread in the beginning, because she talked about Tamlin's lack of heartbeat, which did not pick up on at all. But there was a line that, of course, my notebook, I don't have to reference, but it was like page 170 something. And she overhears a conversation between Tamlin and
Lucian.
Struggling. And he mentions, like, man, like, for a heart of stone, you've been awful soft lately. And I was like, oh, wow, there was a sprinkle of knowledge there. But, of course, reading it, didn't think of anything. So that was really interesting. And the fact that he knew that she had caught on eventually, like, you could see in her brain she was thinking she was reeling. And the little smirk he gave, bam. Like, oh, that was good. I did expect Lucian, though, to be under one of those hoods.
So did I.
And I was like, oh, it's some random guy, some random girl. And I'm like, okay, like, someone's got to be in here that we know. Lo and behold, her Tamlin.
Okay, let's talk about the riddle.
Oh, my goodness. So I feel like we need to insert a screenshot of our text conversation because she messaged me, what do you think about the riddle? And my exact response was, it's either going to be something simple like love or it's going to be something my pea brain cannot comprehend. When I read over the riddle, I read it, read the next paragraph or so, went back to it, read it again, and I pondered for maybe a minute. I was like, okay, And I kept going because it was one of those, it was either going to be something very simple or something really complex. I didn't have enough information to figure out. Nothing really stood out as like, oh, it must be this.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I read, I was like, what if it's love?
What if it's stupid? Stupid love.
And lo and behold, it was love. Dead. And then boom, curse broken, everything. Treaty broken.
How do you feel about Amarantha?
Ooh, she was spooky. But she got what she deserved. I was not expecting that whole fight scene to pan out as far as like ascending her soul. But it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. I liked it. I like how they painted her and homie's eyeball. So then her ring.
Jurian?
Yeah. I liked that. I liked that
She's
a
a
lot.
little... She petty.
Now, is she like gone forever, or is she gonna like surprise me in the future books? Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna give me information.
I don't know. I've never read this before. This is my first time, too.
This is your first time, too. You have an awful experience for a first timer.
Okay. Are there any specific moments or quotes that stuck out to you?
You want me to remember?
Fine. Okay. Next thing is we are going to read the blurb for A Court of Mist and Fury.
Okay.
Okay, ready? So, Farah has undergone more trials than one human woman can carry in her heart. Though she's now been granted the powers and lifespan of the High Fae, she is haunted by her time under the mountain and the terrible deeds she performed to save the lives of Tamlin and his people. As her marriage to Tamlin approaches, Farah's hollowness and nightmares consume her. She finds herself split into two different people. One who upholds her bargain with Rhysand, High Lord of the feared Night Court, and one who lives out her life in the Supreme Court with Tamlin. While Farah navigates a dark web of politics, passion, and dazzling power, a greater evil looms. She might just be the key to stopping it, but only if she can harness her harrowing gifts, heal her fractured soul, and decide how she wishes to shape her future and the future of a world in turmoil. With that, what do you think is going to happen in book 2?
Ooh, so when reading book 1 and hearing about Farah's deal with Rhysand,
okay,
I actually had to go back because I couldn't remember if it was, a week for a certain time or like a week forever.
Okay.
And then getting to then, I was like, oh, like it was a week for a long time. And now her being immortal, I was like, ooh, how's that going to play out? Because of course, there's got to be some interest between both of them. I think a little bit. I think there's a little bit of interest
Between
Farah and
Rhysand. Okay.
Felt that a little bit more from him, but there's a couple lines where I'm like, she doesn't hate it. I don't think she hates it.
Do you think she didn't hate it because of all the help?
I definitely think that had part. Because when she was feverish and her arm was all mangled, he came in and quite literally saved her from that, thus allowing her to complete the trials.
Mm-hmm.
And then him helping her through the second one. I don't know if she felt like, oh my God, they have my savior, whether she wanted to admit it or not. So that definitely has something to do with it. But I can definitely see how she's going to split, essentially becoming two people, because maybe what happens, I'm assuming some debauchery is going to go on.
Okay.
During that week for however long she ends up being in that space. But
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just want to read it.
What else do you predict for book 2? What else?
What else?
Where do you think everything with the greater evil, what do you think that is?
The greater evil. I definitely do not think it's going to be sunshine and rainbows. I know something else is coming.
Okay.
Something tells me it's going to seep into the human world, whatever it may be.
Okay.
Because there wasn't a lot of that in the first book. And it's like all this talk about like, oh, it's gonna seep in and ruin the humans, but like nothing really happened. Nothing happened. So it's gotta be happening soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had to rate this book 1 of 5 stars, what would you rate it?
Oh, it's 5 stars.
Really?
Okay. I really did like. Now, I've only read 5 books in the last 10 years of my life. But it was really good. There was a moment, I don't know, it's probably 40, 50, 60 pages in, and I'm like, this is a long book. Mm-hmm. But once I was hooked, I mean, I read it over the course of 2 days. So I read from like
The rest of the books
4 to
are
9:30
a
or
bit
something.
longer.
Oh, I noticed. It was like, 700 some pages from that last one. But I'm like, that means it's good. I had to watch myself, though, because I would get excited, like, ready for the next answer, that I would start, like, skim reading. And I was like, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know one line can hold a lot of information. I have to, like, slow it down a little bit.
Okay, let me make sure I asked most of these things. All right, my final question. You've already answered this 60,000 times, but are you going to continue the series?
I'm going to finish the series. I hope you're ready for me to come over so we can talk about it so I can read the next one.
So we're going to be doing one after every single book. A little mini series because this is literally living out my dream of being able to read these again for the first time. The next time she's going to bring her notes so I can ask more detailed questions.
Yes,
and
I will make a list of the character names.
Book 2 is my favorite book probably in the entire world.
To bounce off of that, I have been bringing this to work, whether I should be or not's out of the question. But kind of going back on the fact that I am not a reader, I did not realize that most people know what this is.
It's a cult.
It is, because I have had at least 5 different people throughout my work environment come up to me, oh my gosh, like, have you read this before? What part are you on? How do you feel about it? And I was like, well, like, I was not prepared. Like, the head of our HR department was like, oh my gosh, what are you reading? It's like, are you going to fire me? But she was fine. It was cool. But everyone has said that the second book is the best one. Now I'm going to be upset if I read the second one, then the third one is a struggle to get through because I want more of that.
I don't think it's a struggle.
I feel like at that point you're hooked on the people.
Yes. And it is, I think I've told you this already. It's kind of the final arc for the first 3.
Okay.
So it goes 3 books and then a novella and then we have
That's that little blue
another one. Yes.
I know your feelings
That
on
was
that.
a fucking struggle to get through.
I know your feelings.
But
I've seen your videos.
It's okay. It's okay.
What if I love it?
You might. It's just a cute little placeholder.
Okay. To tide over the crowd.
Mm-hmm. But
she worked on that.
It's 200 and some pages, and I'm like, oh. Anyway. Yeah, so I am so excited to see how you feel about this. Guys, I'm going to make her come over, and I'm going to record her reaction to chapter 54. I might have her come over on chapter 50 so that I can the whole time while you're reading it and make you feel really uncomfortable. But I cannot wait to watch your mouth go.
Before even starting this, she had mentioned chapter 54. One of my other work human beings also mentioned chapter 54 to me. And when I picked this one up, I flipped through to see how many chapters. I'm like, is 54 in this one? Nope. And I was like, okay, no, I have to wait for the second one. But there was a little part of me, just a little part that was like, what would be so mad about just flipping
You
through?
would ruin it all.
For the sake of you, because I care about you as a human being, I will not.
I'll know
but
if
the
you do.
desire is there.
I will know.
I want to know.
I will know.
Wanna know
It's
something?
life-changing.
What's going to happen?
Guess you're going to have to wait and find out.
She's killing me.
Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate y'all. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and her next one will probably be out very soon. So, bye, guys.
Bye.
When you look my way, it gave me shivers.